Do you ever feel like you want to change something in the way you draw and improve your drawing skills, but somehow your art still looks and feels the same? It is one of the worst phases in my opinion, because it's at this point that most beginner artists just give up. I've been there, I've been in that I want to change something but I don't know what stage for a couple of years actually before I managed to get out of it. So when I get that specific question, it is clear that most people already have an idea of their ideal art style but don't know how to make it theirs and unique in their own way. So I wanted to give you a couple suggestions on how to get out of that phase and improve your art stylistically based on my personal experience, of course. If you're new here, hello, I'm Hallie. I'm an illustrator focused on character design, and here I like to talk about art, drawing and tech. Welcome to my channel. This portion of today's video was yet again supported by the friends at Printful. As you should know by now, is a fantastic print-on-demand service. But what is print-on-demand? As the name says, Printful offers a printing service. They have a huge catalog of items, which is fantastic for artists like me who wish to print their art on t-shirts or bags or even mugs and sell them maybe, but don't have room for a big stock of products. Here's where their service comes handy, because you can connect your Printful account to your shop and they will take care of everything, from printing of course to shipping to the client. So you can only focus on your art. And the best part is that there's no waste, since nothing will be printed unless an order arrives. Their editor is very easy and intuitive to use. Then I can save the design, connect it to my shop, customize the name and description as I normally would, and it's done. You can obviously order samples as I did, and they even provide mock-up pictures, which are very useful to see how the item will turn out once it is printed. Everything I ordered so far turned out so nice. The prints are detailed and the colors are spot on, so I'm very satisfied. If you wish to try out their service, you'll find the link in the description, and thank you so much to Printful for always supporting my channel and my art. During this week that I spent in bed with the cold, I was thinking about what to draw next, because I have a little print set that I'm working on, and if you follow me on Instagram you saw some of the whips, and I thought, crazy that after all this time I'm still so fond and invested in this craft. Sure, it is my job, but also genuinely I like to do it for fun. This print set is a personal project, for example. Some artist friends I know, many of them quit at a certain point, whether it is for being too busy or they got bored eventually, and this is what I want to talk about today. I had people telling me I couldn't stand how my art looked, so I eventually stopped drawing altogether, or I couldn't find an art style I liked and I really disliked my drawings. That's an evergreen. And since I've been in that exact spot, I can tell you that I relate to that feeling of not making progress, especially when we are very autocritical and harsh with ourselves, and especially in this current era in 2026 where AI is slowly taking over. So what is the key to keep it up, you might ask? First of all, let's cover art style for a second, because I know that's the topic you want to hear about. Art style is a tricky concept. Not every artist has one or even wants one. There are many polyhedric artists, very versatile in different mediums and styles, people whose minds are meant to go with the flow and bend the style depending on their mood. And then there are artists who developed a distinguishable art style and they want to stick to it for most of their artworks. Artists who enjoy the continuity and making their art cohesive, kinda like me. Now, both things are completely fine. Some beginners seem to think that if you don't have a very distinct and unique style, you look like an amateur, and I promise you that's not the case. It all depends on you as a person and what you want to achieve with your art. Me, for example, my favorite thing is character design. It's what I do every day. My commission work also revolves around creating characters. It's what I do best. My focus is there. So in this case, having a precise style helps a lot, because when I look at one of my drawings, or my friends look at my drawings, even you watching this video, in general, people familiar with my art might say, oh look, Hallie made that, which is what I want for my characters personally. So how did I get to the point where I said, oh perfect, that's it, that will be my style? Well, it was a matter of time and understanding of my craft It took me a lot of drawings and training my eyes to get to that. And the reason is very simple. Once you accumulate a big number of artworks, only then you can go back to your first pieces and point out details you dislike or want to tweak. If I look at my old art right now, I can tell you right away what was quote-unquote wrong with it, because I developed an understanding of my own art, something that in most cases you won't be able to do at the beginning, because you still have to try a lot of things. This can be valid for many parts of the creative process, for sketches, line art if you do line arts, or coloring. Maybe you already feel good with your base drawing style but feel like something is off with your coloring, or vice versa. It is very personal and subjective. But now that we established what it feels like to be stuck there, the question is, how do you get out? The answer was kinda hidden in my entire concept there. So take your sketchbook if you draw traditionally, or your drawing folder if you draw digitally, and go back to some of your older pieces. Not too old, let's say a couple months old. If your progress is linear, I'm sure you will spot a bunch of things you didn't notice while working on that piece, and I'll give you a concrete example with my own art. These two pieces are only a few months apart, and this drawing here, when I made it, I was in that awful I don't like this at all stage. Couldn't tell why until I looked at it months after. And I can tell you right now my train of thoughts. Mouth and nose way too small, good for anime style but not for what I was aiming at. And eyes, for what I wanted to achieve, an inner corner was needed. Looking at this feels incomplete, and the size of the nose and mouth feels so out of place. So I noted that, opened a blank canvas, and shortly after I made this. Not perfect, not yet what I wanted, but closer. Those three elements were crucial, and I was completely blind while I was drawing those older artworks. Mostly because I was transitioning from a more classical anime style to more of a cartoonish style. Do that with your drawings too, and you'll be able to point the fingers at details you wish to change or improve, and you will really see the development of your art. This part of creating and experimenting, I realize, is one of the things that keep my spark alive. Seeing my own art becoming something different day by day, depending on how my vision and aesthetic changes, that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of keeping up and developing your craft. And this is what makes art special, in my opinion. It is important that you don't quit if you're finding yourself in that phase right now. It is important that you keep going and that you take a look at your old art instead of hating it, because you need that visual input. And if you really want to compare your art to other artists, compare it to your own. Me, for example, I recently had a similar experience again. I am not good with backgrounds. I always say that. Those are my least favorite thing to draw. My weakness, I find that I'm just not great at them. I looked at my previous pieces where I attempted at a background and I said, okay, this is what looks off. Well, it was my entire approach. I approached the background like I was approaching a character, which I didn't like for props and landscapes. It made them too crowded and off. I decided that I had to simplify them and ditch the line art for backgrounds. And most importantly, after the sketch, I decided to work on the background first and then put my character in the scene. That completely changed my perspective. Not only that allowed me to set a mood for the entire piece, but I could place the character in a proper way. So this is one of my latest pieces. Plus I decided to focus on sceneries that I really enjoy, like a distant planet with binary stars or space in general, and focus my attention on details and textures, like the sky flares and the stars. I really like the result, and I'm happy because I think I found a workflow with backgrounds, finally, after years. So this was just an example to say that we never really stop learning. We are in charge of our craft, and getting out of the comfort zone, sometimes it's necessary to avoid that feeling of being stuck and art blocked. Get past that point and you'll see the improvement, and you'll find a lot of pleasure in making art again. That's why I never get tired of it, because I know that in time there will be something that will surprise me again. For example, now I'm trying oil pastels. I am about to order a nice fancy set, and I'm currently very bad at it, but let's see what I can make in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and for spending some time here with me, hearing me ramble as always. This is a topic very dear to my art because I've always felt like that feeling of insatisfaction, I hope that makes sense, with a specific phase of my art journey, and getting out of it was like a breath of fresh air. And if I can help some of you get out of that stage too, it's fantastic to me. So I really hope you enjoyed, and please let me know in the comments as always what you think and your ideas, and of course don't forget to subscribe. I also opened very recently an ASMR channel where I only post my uncut long drawing footages, so if you enjoy putting those type of videos in background while you draw or do other things or just to fall asleep, please consider subscribing. So thank you so much guys, and I'll see you next Sunday. Take care, bye!